I thought I might expand on my advice from last week since people really seem to enjoy it. If you want to get started miniature painting, I highly recommend getting a Vallejo starter set. You can totally choose a different brand if you want, but I recommend it has black, white, brown, at least one metallic, preferably silver, and your three primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. If it has all of that, you should be good to paint an entire army. Then, once you're done with your first few models, figure out what paint you use the most or which one you like the most, and then buy an expensive version of that. I'm not saying don't buy Citadel paints, just make sure, start with the cheap stuff and then work your way towards buying a paint that you know you're gonna use. You know, those things are like 20 bucks each, get your money's worth. The same goes for brushes as well. Start out with a cheap set, and then once you know what you're gonna use, because, you know, it'll be pretty obvious, then go ahead and buy an expensive version of whatever brush you've been using the most. And with that, I think it is finally time for us to enter the wasteland. Hello there. I am so glad you could be here today. My name is Rich, the channel is called New Memphis, and you might not be able to tell, but I'm a pretty big Fallout fan. Today we're using these 11 colors to paint up the 5 miniatures from the Fantasy Flight Games Fallout Fantasy Flight Games Fallout tabletop game. Nailed it. It would just so happen that the week I filmed this that the Modifius Fallout role-playing game would end up getting some traction. So, just so you guys know where it is I'm getting these models from. And they're great models, honestly. Very, very detailed, with a lot more flat surfaces compared to the very precise, rounded edges of a lot of secondary details on Warhammer models. It's too hot for the hat. It's too hot. I'm gonna have to take this Pip-Boy off soon. It is so hot in here with all these lights. I haven't actually played the role-playing game from Modifius, and I probably won't. None of my friends are into tabletop gaming. But I might paint the Wasteland Warfare models that they released. I especially really like the NCR models, because I really like the NCR. So I might do this at some point, depending on if there's interest. Let me know in the comments if you guys have interest in seeing more Fallout stuff. Or, you know, I could do what everyone else in miniature painting does and just paint more fucking Space Marines. But I think that's probably enough preamble. Let's get on to the actual painting. That's what you're here for, and it's what I'm here for. By the way, for any Bostonites in the audience, the only Boston, like, themed beer I could find was Sam Adams, and oh, it's just going everywhere. If you have any suggestions on good Boston beers, please let me know in the comments. I am always looking for recommendations. Oh yeah, we're ready to get started. To start off with, we're going to prime all 5 models in Macragge Blue. If you want to follow along, that is the only Citadel paint you'll find in this video. Everything else on the list is Vallejo brand. With that done, we're going to choose one base color for each model and paint over the large, flat sections. Then we'll do an overall dry brush with our base color as well. I think if we left it here, we would have some already great looking board game pieces. But let's see if we can go further with this paint job. Next up, we're filling in the details with any paint from our list. I just went one by one and tried to use what I thought looked nice. Next up, we have the black wash, always my favorite part. In this case, I'm not using Nuln Oil or a store-bought wash. I just mixed together this one on the fly with Vallejo Black, a little matte medium, and enough water to make the paint phobic to flat surfaces. And when that was done, guess what? We have more highlights to do, still sticking to our original list of colors. After the highlights, I applied a little cheap black paint, Royal and Langnickel in this case, to the base in small patches, and poured over some coffee grounds I keep on hand for basing. This is a mix of fine espresso grounds and larger coffee grounds I used for making cold brew a few months back, baked in the oven until completely dry and then mixed together. If any of that coffee lingo sounded foreign to you, I've actually been brainstorming doing a men's guide to coffee video. Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in that. I tested a couple different paint schemes before finding one that I liked for the base. Here is the recipe I came up with, still using just our original 11 colors. First, I put down a very thin, very watered down layer of matte medium to lock the grounds in place without clogging the texture. Then I base coated them in cork brown. Next up was a dry brush of white to really make those textures pop. After that, I made a not quite wash, more a thinned slurry of intermediate green for a nuclear feel. And then a wash of mahogany brown. As you can see, this paint is going to be phobic to any raised surfaces. Ready for the grand reveal? I know I am. Wait. I know I am. Thank you so much for sticking around through the whole video, and let's get on to the good part. I am not making enough progress on this thing. This is just tragic. This is an embarrassment to like the channel. This is my brand. I mean, if I can't finish my beer while I'm finishing these models, what even is New Memphis at that point? Like, what even is the brand? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, did I mention how awesome my fan base has been, by the way? Or fan base? My 90 subscribers. Thank you to all 90 of you, though. You guys are awesome. I've actually been surprised. The response to the videos has been really, really positive. So thank you guys for that. That's been absolutely incredible to witness, and I am so grateful to all of you. It's just awesome. Can't say more than that. Thank you. Thank you to all of you guys. Aside from that, the Patreon will be launching this week, where you will be able to see the first 5 chapters of my book, Barrowstadt, coming out for free. Well, the book's not coming out for free. You'll be able to read the first 5 chapters for free on the Patreon, and then get exclusive content such as blooper reels and probably more chapters after that. The first 5 will be free, and then after that it'll switch. That'll be sometime this week. It's been kind of a chaotic weekend, so I'm sorry it's not launching with the rest of it. But that's just where we are right now. Speaking of where we are, this thing is just hot as hell. Sorry, I gotta. Fuck, it's so hot. Anyway, thank you guys. You are all amazing. The support has been amazing for the channel. I didn't think that things would be going this smoothly, to be honest. Kind of thought things would have caught fire by now, but we're holding this together. So you guys are great. As I've said 3, maybe 4 times now. Have a great day.